The Environmental Protection Agency's SUPERFUND program has certainly made its impact in Greenville, Alabama. In 1963, the EPA placed the Mowbray Engineering Company site on its National Priorities List, or NPL. Cleanup ended over a decade ago, but the affair still caused a stir. The objectives of this video are to get you to come to an understanding on how a site is classified as a Superfund site, recognize what measures need to be taken to delete a Superfund site from the EPA's NPL, learn how toxic chemicals affect the environment around them, and understand the importance of proper waste management and the impact it can have on water sources. This event may have officially been resolved in 1993, but knowing about the risks and solutions may help with future Superfund sites. The contamination took place on the former Mowbray Engineering Company grounds at the junction of 2nd and Buisson Streets in Greenville, Alabama. Greenville itself is seated in southern Alabama. Interstate 65 passes to the west of the city, and U.S. Route 31 passes to the east. A stream runs west to southwest of the site, and the local community college is to the northeast. To the southeast, a small park is situated. The exact site of the Mowbray Engineering Company is nothing more than a field nowadays, and no economic or business activity has resumed. The Mowbray Engineering Company site was named after, you guessed it, the Mowbray Engineering Company. The company was a source of oil, electricity, and energy and fuel. The EPA has also pinned a potentially responsible party, that is, companies that are potentially liable for payment of Superfund cleanup costs, as the Alabama Power Company. According to Alabama Power's main website, they are operated by the larger Southern Company, one of the nation's largest electricity generators. Alabama Power works as an electricity facility that caters to the southern portion of Alabama through the use of fossil fuel plants and nuclear plants. So what's the problem with the site? Well, as claimed by the EPA itself, in the years 1955 through 1974, the company annually drained, repaired, and refilled used electrical transformers, each transformer holding about 9 gallons of oil. The PCB-contaminated waste oil was then illegally discharged through a drainage system into a local swamp, where the drainage eventually discharged into Buisson Creek. A large fish kill in 1975 was caused by the Arochlor 1260, polychlorinated biphenyls, lead compounds, methanol, and styrene. By the Spectrum Laboratories and the Illinois Department of Public Health Standards, Arochlor and PCBs easily biomagnify and are used in electrical machinery. They are resistant to biodegradation too, and ingesting them through water or contaminated fish can lead to death, chloracne, liver disruption, reproduction malfunctions, cancer, or birth defects. Styrene and methanol are both toxic and highly flammable, and though they cause less harm to the environment by being broken down easily, coming into contact with these chemicals can result in permanent blindness, death, or cancerous growth. According to the Methanol Institute, lead compounds, typically highly acidic, can lead to lead poisoning in humans or decreased growth in plant and animal growth, affecting the ecosystem as a whole. All in all, these aren't very good things to have in your swamp. To give you a general timeline of this whole incident, we go to the EPA Superfund website. I'll start with the years 1955 through 1974, the dumping years. 1975 was the year of the large fish kill in Buisson Creek, and early 1981 was when the EPA started taking action by removing debris and contaminated soil from the site. 1983, and the site was on the NPL due to the level of harmful chemicals. 1986, the EPA issued the site's long-term cleanup plan, and in 1987, they began the cleanup. 4 years later, in 1991, the cleanup was concluded, and in 1993, the site was deleted from the NPL because all response actions were completed and the EPA's cleanup goals had been achieved. In 2013 and 2018, the EPA has 5-year reviews and follow-ups scheduled, but as of now, the site is cleared. As already stated, the EPA led the cleanup efforts. They partnered with the Alabama Power Company and the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. The timeline itself states the EPA's investigation and cleanup process, but to reiterate, the EPA dug up contaminated soil, solidified the soil, and placed and capped the solidified materials on site. During the cleanup, EPA dug up 3,350 transformers on the northeast side of the site. In the end, it was about $130,000 for cleanup activities, plus $49,000 in later operation and maintenance fees for the remedial action taken, documented in the 5th 5-year review report. It took the swamp some time to recover from having its topsoil and then some stripped away, and the fish had to spend several generations to repopulate the creek, which took about a year or so. As stated, there is no current activity on the site. The Mowbray Engineering Company has been dissolved during the investigation, and the swamp had transformed into a grassy field with only an agglomeration of PCB soil left behind in the northeast corner. It is fenced off, isolated, and empty. But what about a flare-up in the future? Well, not very likely. According to the 5-year review conducted in 2013, the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials Site Managers stated that the only recurring issues on the site are with fence maintenance. Burrowing animals have even deemed it safe to return, much to the officials' chagrin. As of now, all the people of the area are gaining is knowledge of what an outbreak such as this one can lead to and the trouble it causes the community and the organizations in charge. Perhaps there are trace amounts of PCB still lingering in nearby fish, but it just looks like Little Greenville is back to sleepy Alabama.